Okay, it's December 26th. It's 9:55 a.m. I got home from the shop right around 8:30. I was talking, interestingly, I was talking about how my camera just seems to go off whenever it feels like it. Well, when I was telling the story about Joe Torre, my camera went off as I was coming home, so I decided, it said insufficient battery, so I decided I would come home and charge it and then finish what I was saying. So this was like maybe, because I was in the hospital, the psych ward, from July 2005, I don't know, 17th, 18th, 19th to September 11th, 2005. Uh, so around 2000, I mean it was 2006. Yeah, yeah, this banging thing? Well, since, since I wrote about it, I guess I can say it. They're doing it to me now. Um, yeah, and here's Simon. So, um, 2006 maybe it was, and it was at the Yogi Berra Museum. Tim Russert was interviewing Joe Torre, and all of a sudden, it just seemed like out of nowhere, Joe Torre like leans in, and like he cups his hand, like he's whispering, but he wasn't whispering. And he says to Tim Russert, "I have to go to the bathroom." And I told you how I had urinated in a public park during a night wandering around Manhattan all night long. I had the occasion to urinate in public. But anyway, so that had that connotation to me, like it was something to me. Um, so why, yeah, I guess this will all come out in dribs and drabs eventually. But just suffice it to say for now that, or if I guess a lot of people know the story and I don't have to say it in so many words. But just suffice it to say it had a personal connotation for me. He just leaned over and he said to Tim Russert, "I have to go to the bathroom." And Tim Russert just kind of like smiled and, and that was it. It was just like a total non sequitur, and then they just continued the interview. So then I told you how Tim Russert died. How I saw that in the New York Post. I worked when I got out of the hospital. I had to be in a outpatient program here in Bayville at the Ocean Mental Health, which is in Bayville, for several months. It was just a day program. You just go there and yeah. I don't have. I'll do another like 5 hours on how cynical I am about psychiatric drugs and a lot of psychiatric treatment. But suffice it to say, I had to go. I had no choice. But so I went there, and it was like from in the morning from 9 to like 3:30, 5 days a week, and so I did that until March 2006. I got out of there. I worked for a tombstone place. How's that? Master Memorials here, Toms River, on Highway Route 37, Toms River. Part time, a few days a week, with a total pay of about $500 a month. I had at that time some inheritance left, because in fact my psychiatric my hospital bill, Metropolitan Hospital, was $80,000. I had some inheritance money from my mother, and they called me up. I got out of the hospital. They called me up because I had no insurance. I had no job at that time. But they called me up. I got out of the hospital in September, maybe around January 2006. She called me up and said, "You have a big hospital bill. What are you going to do about it? So we want to see your bank accounts." So I faxed them my bank accounts. However, which I had two. One was $20,000 in it. This is all money I inherited, obviously. $20,000 and $36,000. So, and then I had another $33,000 that I had in an annuity. So that was not a bank account. But so I faxed him those, and she said She called me back a couple days later and said, well, we'll take the $20,000. And she kept grilling me. Are you sure you don't have a job? You have nothing, no income? I said, no. She said, well, we'll take the $20,000. So I said, well, okay. And she said, you sure you don't have any other bank accounts? I said, no. So we were basically playing a game of chicken, you know, can you lie, you know. So she said, well, write me a letter and say that write me a letter and stating that you do not have any more bank accounts. So I said, okay. So I wrote a letter, signed it, gave it to her, sent it to her, mailed it to her, whatever. And but I lied, right? So that was a game of chicken. And of course, I had the feeling people knew it, but, you know. So, I just had the 36,000, you know, that year, 2006. Plus, I was making $500 a month in the Tombstone place, Master Memorials, doing clerical work, working a couple days a week. And then I started my medical transcription program, which I paid for out of the money from my inheritance. Then I got a job, October 2006, Clayton Associates in Lakewood, New Jersey. Basically, was a waste of time. But I thought maybe I was trying to finish my program, you know, before my money ran out. I thought maybe it would help me out. Whether it helped or hindered, I don't know, because I could have gone faster in my medical transcription if I wasn't doing that work. And that was just clerical work. It was a shit job, and it's a shit company. But, you know, that's a whole nother story, too. So I won't go into that right now. Yeah, Clayton Associates, they make brake washers, and they do some work for the military. They had, what they have now, I don't know, military contracts, dustless vacuum sander, whatever the hell it is. Something for, I don't know, I don't remember the exact name, but something with regard to military equipment for jets and aircraft and so on. So, I worked there. That was shit. They fired me in November 2007. So then I graduated from my program in March 2008, or completed my program transcription and started trying to do medical transcription at home. And in January 2008, I took the money from the annuity that I didn't tell the hospital about. I took it out because I needed it. I had no money then. I was down to nothing. So yeah. So you get that all straight. March 2006, Tombstone Place. April 2006, started the transcription program. November 2007. October 2006. Got hired at Clayton. September 2007. October 2007. Got fired at Clayton Associates. March. January 2008. Took the annuity money that I didn't tell the hospital about, and March 2008 started my transcription work, which I made. I don't know. I think I might have made $7. I don't know. Very little money. Poverty line wages, because you know, you don't just fall into it. You know, it takes some time to get used to it and gain experience and know what you're doing. And so I made next to nothing, and I don't know, 7. I don't know exactly know what it was. Maybe 11, 7. I don't know. It was very little money. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that. So I was talking about Tim Ross. So yeah. So I was just trying to say these things that happened around the time I was in the hospital, and so. That's basically what I had to say. I basically, just finishing up on that story. So now let me download this, and it's 3 videos here. So I just want to say, as far as FAN goes, I am continuing. I do listen to it most of the time. I listen to it, very often I listen to it more than I watch TV or anything else. So my suggestion that I said on the social media about, listening to it to get some idea or suggestion of what I'm talking about with what I posted earlier, that still goes. So this is 10 minutes and 22 seconds.